It's time for the Dragon Mages to rise. For eons, we have waited like sleeper agents implanted in this false matrix, waiting for the time to be right, the time to shine our light. And that time, my friends, is right now. But first, for those who may not know me, my name is Hannah, and I empower you to empower yourself. And today, it's my intention to do that by unpacking exactly what a Dragon Mage even is. Because I use this term sometimes, and I think it can be helpful to identify even more what that actually entails and why it matters, why it's so important to claim that energy right now. And so leading into that, I'll say that the doors to the path of the Dragon Initiate are open right now. This is essentially a mystery school for Dragon Mages in training. And so we will attune you to the 9 dragon elementals, as well as the golden dragon frequency, and help you learn how to connect with your personal dragon guides as well. And most importantly of all, is to ground this into your lived experience, rather than just like playing with it up in these higher realms and having fun with it. It's like all about grounding that fun, grounding that play, grounding that magic into the physical, into the tangible. And so that's what we will be doing together in the path of the Dragon Initiate. The doors will be open for a few more days as of posting this. So if you feel the call, I encourage you to check that out. You can find the link in the description below. So now that said, what is a Dragon Mage? And trick answer for this one. If you hear that term, Dragon Mage, and that sparks something with you, if you feel that and you're like, yes, that's me, well, congratulations, you're a Dragon Mage. It's really that simple. You know who you are. It's something, it's like a code. It's a bunch of codes actually. And when you hear the words, you feel the resonance, you get activated by another Dragon Mage. You just feel it and you just know. So that is the most important thing to know here. If this feels like you, then it's you. And that's all the validation, all the authority that you really need here is your own. And likewise, maybe you're not a Dragon Mage if you're watching this, and that's okay too. Again, you know who you are, and maybe you're just watching out of curiosity. So follow your heart. You know who you are. You know what is true for you. Now, to just define the Dragon Mage in a more general sense, this is a type, an offshoot of a light worker. And in particular, the word that I'm resonating with more than ever these days is light leader, specifically light leader. So it's like you're an offshoot of this light leader role. And specifically what defines that role is, of course, it's in the name, it's the ability to embody and work with the dragon energies specifically. So there's so many different types of beings out there that you can work with. There's so many different star beings, for example, like aliens, ETs, there's angels, there's other types of elementals, there's fairies, there's mer people, there's elves, etc., etc., etc. So many different types of beings. But a Dragon Mage, it's very clear. Your primary affinity is going to be with dragons, okay? Dragon energy. That really wakes something up within you. It just feels like home. Maybe even if you try to play with the other frequencies, it just doesn't work out because your home is with the dragons and the dragon energy. So that is stipulation number 1. And now know that this comes about because you yourself have had probably many lifetimes as an actual dragon yourself, and also as someone that works with dragons, because on different planets and even on Earth, you know, in different timelines, even this timeline in the past at varying points, humans coexisted with dragons, and we see this in fiction, right? There were dragon riders, there are dragon riders. And so you also likely were someone that was a dragon rider, someone that worked with dragons as a non-dragon being as well. And I think it's important to note that for a dragon mage, you're gonna have both of those experiences, because that gives you like the whole dragon experience, to actually be a dragon yourself, and then to be a different being that works with dragons and sees that energy from a different perspective. That gives you like the whole picture of dragon energy. And so that is another stipulation of a dragon mage, is that you've had many lives as both a dragon and, for all intents and purposes, we'll say as a dragon rider. So going off of that, for stipulation number 3, a dragon mage is someone that incarnated into this planet, into this lifetime, with a very specific role. You have, with your dragon energy, very specific codes, very specific gifts that you're meant to share with the planets and with the collective at large. And so that role, it can look different for every dragon mage, but all in all, the role of a dragon mage is very synonymous with the role of an actual dragon itself. And as I've learned in the past year, especially working with so many different types of dragons, talking to the mega dragons, what I've come to understand is that the dragons are like the royalty of the elemental kingdom, and dragons are like very, 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 very powerful grid keepers, you could say. So there's this term in the lightworker community of the grid worker. Well, dragons are grid keepers. And as a human, at least currently, you know, as a human, you can be both a grid keeper and a grid worker. And this is also a key aspect, a key quality of the dragon mage. It's like you are working very intimately, that's the word they want to give. You're working very intimately with Mother Earth's energetic grid herself, okay? That's key. That's key here. So it could look like, you know, you basically live in the same area, and you know that area like the back of your hand, and you have a very strong, intimate relationship with that one specific place on Earth, that one specific town, city, forest, whatever it is. Know that this is how most elemental dragons on our planet operate, actually. They sort of are stationed at a very specific spot, and they're charged with overseeing that part of the grid. Oftentimes this could be a body of water, or this could be like a mountain. It could be a specific tree, for example. They tend to oversee certain natural elements, shall we say, certain parts of the grid like that. And so you also could have that energy. But I think for most people watching this, if you are like a human, are you human? Are you human? If you are a human watching this and resonating with the dragon mage energy, probably there's a better chance that you're going to be in group number 2, which is more so you are called to travel quite a bit or to move around quite a bit. And maybe in your life already you've had a lot of traveling or a lot of moving around, or both. And if you have not yet, you could have just like that strong, like visceral desire to, because again, you hold these very unique light codes. And just by you physically being somewhere, you're like grounding, you're anchoring in those light codes. So they're telling me to use my own example here, like myself as an example here. I have a very specific way of operating in this grid worker, grid keeper energy. And how I've done it ever since I basically came of age, I tend to move places. I don't usually stay put more than a couple of years at a time. I tend to move. I've lived on 4 continents now. This is my 4th continent, for example. And I just get a strong inner knowing that I have to move to this new place, and I do. And then I stay there for a couple of years usually, and I really like ground and I anchor into those frequencies. That, as they tell me, is also somewhat atypical. Like most people don't have this experience that I've had. The most common experience people are going to have is like just traveling a lot. Like you'll have your home base, but you're going to travel to different places and spread the light codes that way. But know that grid work can take many forms. It can look like my experience where you just live in different places and you stay there for an extended period of time. It can look like you stay in the same place like your whole life. It's very, very individualized, but I think most people will experience this as just traveling around. And know that when this happens, you don't have to know what's happening. You can just trust that by going to these places you feel intuitively drawn to go to, you're like activating the grid. And the grid is activating you too, by the way. Another aspect going off of this, I think that was like 3. So let's say this is 4, point number 4, stipulation number 4 here, is that the Dragon Mage is going to be someone that is very balanced, okay? This is not your first rodeo. If you're a Dragon Mage, your soul's very ancient, and you've been basically everything and everyone, and therefore you've attuned to all the different elementals. You've attuned to masculine and feminine energy basically equally, and you've reached a point where you embody that mastery. And so that's what Path of the Dragon Initiate kind of is all about, is we play with each of these different elements to find balance, harmony with all of them together. And as a Dragon Mage, that is your destiny, you could say. Even if you're not quite there yet, maybe you're very close to that mastery, to embodying all the elements. And so a lot of times I do these videos on different types of dragon elementals, and a lot of times I get comments from people and they're like, well, Hannah, I identify with the qualities of all the different dragon elementals. Well, guess what? That's because you're a Dragon Mage and you're like, you're tuned to all of the different elementals. You don't have to just pick one and stick in one lane, or even just a few. You're meant to embody that wholeness. And this also applies to the feminine and the masculine energies. If you're a Dragon Mage, just dragons in general, from my understanding, is that they have very balanced feminine and masculine polarities actually, which is, believe it or not, it's quite rare for an elemental being to have that sort of balance. Usually they pick a polarity and they really like stick to that feminine or that masculine polarity. And I'm just thinking, like, examples are like, think of like a fairy that's clearly very feminine, right? A gnome, clearly very masculine. So they very much they pick an affinity and they stick with it. But dragons, they kind of walk the in-between. They're balanced. And so also, if you're the type of person that you're like, maybe you've struggled deciphering which is dominant in you, the feminine or the masculine energy, you've always felt quite balanced in both, quite at home in both, you are probably a Dragon Mage. And this is part of the qualities, by the way. They're telling me the light codes that you share with the grid as a Dragon Mage is, if you have this balance, like feminine masculine polarity, you have this balance like elemental polarity, that is something the world desperately needs right now. And so when you visit these different places, live in different places, or just really go deep with one place, you're like really charging up the grid with that frequency. So keep up the good work. The dragons want you to know you're doing a great job just by being, okay? So point number 5, another quality of the Dragon Mage is that you are a leader. Like I said, a leader of the lights. You are a leader. This is very important, and this becomes more and more prominent the more I work with the dragons. They're like, yeah, these people, Dragon Mages, they're leaders. Usually if you've got very strong dominant dragon energy, you're meant to be a leader, because as they said, right, like dragons are the royalty of the elemental kingdom. They are the leaders. Now that does not mean that they're better or higher up necessarily than all the other elemental beings. That does not mean you're better than others as a leader. It means that you have a great deal of responsibility to carry, because the dragons, you know, they're responsible for the entire elemental kingdom. It's a lot of work, you know, being a queen, a king, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of responsibility. Being a CEO, being a billionaire, millionaire, that's a lot of responsibility. And that's kind of the responsibility that you're holding energetically as a dragon, as a Dragon Mage. You hold that responsibility for many others. And as a result, you're also, like, an offshoot of this is you're a trailblazer, you're a cycle breaker. You came here to go first and to do things first. And because you're doing things first and you're doing things that are unprecedented, that shit's hard. And you might struggle in life. You might have a lot of struggle and feel so stuck and frustrated. You might feel like a late bloomer. You look around, people, you know, their lives seem to be progressing while yours just stays seemingly stagnant. It's because you are literally like just breaking land. That's what they're showing me. They're literally showing me, like, you know, colonists, like in America, because I'm American, I guess, like cutting through like the bush and really just carving a path. And it's like you are doing that. You're just creating this path out of just this wild overgrowth, this chaos. And yeah, it's heavy. And it takes longer. And what you're doing, it's like you're honored. You're so deeply honored for this. So know that and honor yourself. It's tough work. And you might be like, hey, what the heck? Because it's so hard for you sometimes. And things take so much longer. And then you're going to see the whole collective catch up. And for them, it was much quicker, much more simple. And you're like, hey, what gives? It took me decades to get to that point, and it took you like a few months. It's because you and others like you have cleared the path for them, okay? You made the path, okay? So you are like a pathfinder, a path creator as a Dragon Mage. This is a very important part. But here's the gift, right? It's like maybe the people that are following in your footsteps, they don't necessarily have the tools to even create the path, but you do. That's the dragon energy. That's the dragon's fire. Just imagine now that you're in like that overgrown forest and you're trying to clear a path. Well, you're a dragon, and so you just breathe fire and boom, there's a path. So they're like, hey, there are some perks that come with this job. So know that you're a leader and you lead through example. That's very important of a Dragon Mage. So stipulation number 6 is someone that you're very intuitive and you are very attuned to the unseen realms, and you don't need much convincing anymore. If you're ready to step into your power as a Dragon Mage, you don't need convincing anymore. You're not questioning your sanity anymore, because you just know. You just know. Yeah, that it's real. You know that you know that you know. And it's really that simple. And the more that you know, the more your psychic abilities come online, and it's very, very, very natural for you. And so there's so many points, there's so many aspects of being a Dragon Mage, but we'll leave it at this 1.7 for today. And that is that you have a big mission. You're meant to make a big impact. Again, you're a trailblazer, you're a light leader, a cycle breaker, you're a dragon, the royalty of the elemental kingdom, right? You are meant to have a big impact on the collective. So if you've always felt that, no, that's not necessarily coming from your ego. In fact, often it's our egos. If you're a true Dragon Mage, the ego will want you to stay small and to not have this like big impact on the collective. And your ego will be the one telling you, hey, that's ego to want to have this big ripple effect on the collective, because it's trying to keep you out of that mission. But again, if you know, and I want you to just sit with it, place your hands on your heart, sit with it, feel like, is that for you? Do you feel called to have a big impact on the collective, a big ripple effect? You know who you are. And so to wrap things up, if this is resonating, if you're feeling this call and you're like, yeah, damn, Hannah, do you know me? You just described me to a T. Tell me more. I would invite you to join us for the Path of the Dragon Initiate. You will learn more. You will learn how to work with these energies and to channel, to break through that stagnancy that you might be feeling. Because that's what the dragons want me to share right now, is like people that are these dragon mages, people that are leaders of the light, people that are trailblazers, cycle breakers right now, might be feeling very frustrated, angry, just tired, just done, because like you've done so much, you put in so much work, and yet still it feels like you're looping and you're stuck. If you're ready to just like torch that shit, torch those chains, break free once and for all, this is your invitation to do just that. So know that by joining us in the Path of the Dragon Initiate, you are committing to yourself. You are committing to this mission, this big mission that is so much bigger than you. And you are opening yourself to receiving support from legions upon legions of dragons. Like, I'm literally seeing this vision right now of like all these dragons. It's like How to Train Your Dragon, right? Like when, you know, they're in like the cave, I think like in the third movie, like this underground world, and there's just so many dragons in there. It's like that. There's like this cavern of dragons that's been hidden from all of us, but they're waiting. They're waiting for these dragon initiates, these dragon mages to step forward and claim what is rightfully theirs, what is rightfully yours. And if you are willing to do that, you're willing to take that scary leap of faith on yourself, you're gonna learn that you're a fucking dragon. You're gonna be held by fucking dragons. All these different dragon elementals are gonna show up to support you. And so I would be honored to walk that path alongside you if you are feeling called. Again, there's going to be a link to the Path of the Dragon Initiates below, and there's more on that page. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments to ask me, send me an email if you're not sure if it's right for you. But I think you already know if it's right for you or not. I think you can feel, and those of you that feel that call and that pull and that fire, that dragon's fire within you, it's like, yes, expansiveness, this. I dare you to take action on it. I dare you. See what happens. This could just be the very beginning of your hero story. This could be the very beginning of a whole new beginning, of a whole new you. But here's a little secret. You have to be the one that goes first. No one's going to come to save you. Life is not going to come to save you. You got to take action. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to go first. So that's all they want me to share for now on that. I will leave that with you. And I'm just going to wrap up with a light language activation for you. They want me to share this light language activation for the Dragon Mages. So regardless of if you're joining us in Path of the Dragon Initiate or not, you'll receive this a little bolstering on your path moving forward through these dense energies, this forest, this wild brush of energy that you are being called to break through. Usanana isusa esikotoda ase esaya esana uasa elatana asiya etsia asiya natola yasa. Esa, esa. Esana, esana. Esanana, isanana, usa. Isa, yatatala, ikanana. Esana, isana. Eatina, eatina, eatina. Much, much love to you. On your journey, know that you've got this. And hey, if this is resonating, I'm curious how many of these 7 points do you relate to? Do you resonate with? Much love to you, my Dragon Mage friends. Stay powerful.